It is time for the best segment in podcast history. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun. I missed like one line in there, damn it, but I'm going to keep running with this shit. Connor Davis with the Davis Division. Let's go. What up, Connor? Welcome back.
Let me talk to you.
Connor, why'd you moan?
Yeah. The 2025 NFL salary cap is increasing for the second year in a row. So, in 2023, the salary cap was 224.8 million. 2024, it was 255.4 million, and now it's going to increase again anywhere between 277.5 million and 281.5 million. So that's anywhere between an 8 to 10% increase from what it was prior. But if you have any questions on how this is calculated, which is the reason that it is not set in stone yet, which is why it says anywhere between these two numbers, it's because it's on a collectively bargained formula. So that's how it's calculated, and it's kind of going into like the league revenues and everything. An ESPN article I have pulled up also notes that the NFLPA is working on the adjustments to this number to determine the correct formula for this year, because every year the formula does change, which is interesting to note. So I also want to say that last year they kind of messed up the formula, and it should have been 265 million.
Are you serious?
And they got it wrong based on the formula that they had set. Yes, I am very serious, if you could hear him. So I want to ask y'all, and this is very interesting because I am a Saints fan, and we are actually at the worst cap, this, in the league. So
fucking screwed.
In terms of teams like the Saints, I'm not trying to make this a Saints segment. So in terms of team like the Saints and anyone else that may be below the cap, teams that are close to competing, if not already there, are they going to try to restructure contracts to stay above the cap for the next season now that they have a $20 million increase or a $25 million increase to maybe have a playoff berth and show something they might have not shown before?
Bruce, I'll let you go first because I've got some extra stuff that Connor didn't bring up. But go ahead.
Okay, word. My biggest thing here, dude, is the consideration of dead money that the teams are already accruing with whatever situations that they may have. Now, remember, after they let someone go and say, fuck off, bye, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, they can kind of toss that money down the line, which a lot of teams do. Rams. So currently right now, according to Over the Cap, I don't know if you guys have heard that website. I really like that website. It's pretty solid. The team with the highest dead money, shocker, the Cleveland Browns.
Big yuck.
Sorry. No, you're good, man. That was funny as hell. So that's not a surprise. So if you think your Saints are in a bad, well, they are in a bad position. But if you think your Saints are in a bad position, at least you're not the Cleveland Browns. All right. So I do think that there's a possibility of teams being like, okay, this gives us the ability to have that guy that has 1 year left on his contract, and we overpaid him. Like, he's a tight end. He plays for the Chicago Bears. Oh my God, why is he on this team? Well, you know what? Bye. So there's a possibility of that. And the nice thing about it too, though, is if you decide to have the balls to make a big time money move, and trade like your first, like a first round pick or whatever, decide to like make a big push, because like, I mean, look at the Lions. The Lions are a team that comes to my mind, honestly. Even that shit, dude, MJ, even your Packers like come to my mind right now as a team that can be like taking full fucking advantage of the situation like this, because you know what the Packers need? They need a fucking wide receiver. So
Devontae Adams.
So all I'm saying is
It's a little scratchy.
this situation right now, with the cap in my opinion, skyrocketing. It's good for teams that want to decide to make it. It's good for both sides, to be honest with you. It's good for teams that are in shit cap situations because it's not going to hurt them as much if they end up tossing that money down the road. But it's also really, really good for the teams that are in need of let's just say some help to do that little playoff push.
So here's what's even bigger than this. The new collective bargaining agreement will be before the 2029 season. If you take a look, and I'll give some credit, I did some of my own research, but it was prompted by Brett Coleman on Twitter,
Nice.
who
good follow.
made a post about Jeff Lurie, owner of the Eagles. And what Jeff Lurie did is he recently sold, he owns a very successful multi-billion-dollar media company. And what Jeff Lurie found out, what people have started to find out, is that starting in 2029, with the new CBA that will be negotiated, the NFL has already stated that they will start including smart TVs into their viewership calculation. And I don't have to explain to you guys how many views that will add to the calculations. So the rough estimate, if you look at how many Americans have smart TVs and you put all that together, is the salary cap may jump 25 to 35% on top of the normal increases in that year. So if you look at what the Eagles did, they're basically not even paying Jalen Hurts until 2029. He has so much backloaded into options and bonuses that are paid out in 2029 because Jeff Lurie is basically banking on the fact he sold $650 million worth of ownership in the Eagles, sold part of his media company, and then said, I don't care, I'll pay it in 2029. So to your point, Bruce, not only can teams do it now with the salary cap, which is always a thing. The salary cap has always increased almost every single year. That's why we're at the point where we're at. But there is a bigger increase coming. And so if you have somebody like a Jalen Hurts that you're planning on having around for the next 5 years, you can backload the crap out of their deal. So for instance, somebody like the Eagles could go get Myles Garrett.
That'd be scary. Can you imagine?
Backload his deal. The Packers can go to get Devontae Adams, stack void years on the end, which they can already do. But now they know even if they have to pay it in 2029, there's going to be a massive media deal coming. So I don't think we are wholeheartedly prepared for what some of this offseason and especially the next couple will bring, because there are going to be some very
big time
nifty, freaky stuff going on in free agent contracts. And yes, I said freaky.
Dude, so actually to speak to that point, I don't know if you heard about this week at all, but Netflix has decided to throw their fucking hat in the ring and say, listen, CBS and Fox, their contracts are up with the NFL in 2029. And Netflix now wants to be like, yo, listen, here's the crazy thing though. I read that the NFL can actually like terminate those contracts. I mean, obviously have a little bit of a penalty, but it's at that point now. Like I think that the NFL has been with Fox since 1995 or something like that.
Long time.
Me love you, long time. So, dude, you're not wrong, dude. Because this could get kind of crazy. This could be Major League Baseball crazy with the backlog. And here's the thing too, though. At some point, the owners are gonna be keep stuff in their pockets, but how much further along are you going to throw these? And we talked, MJ, you and I don't even know if you remember this, but do you remember like we had this conversation a few years ago talking about Canada just scored. We had that conversation a few years ago, I think, MJ, about the backlog or the tossing contracts and backloading. There you go, backloading all these contracts. And I think the Rams were the first team to really start doing that, and that's off the top of my head. But man, you're right. we got a lot of crazy shit coming down the way in the next like 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, but I love it. I love it.
Same. What else you got for us? Sai, what are your thoughts, Sai? Since you're on camera, bro.
I mean, I agree with these fluky deals with this, like with the salary cap increasing. Like if you think it's like, how I look at it is like, if you think it's bad now, just wait. More money means more time for masterminds like Howie Roseman and to think of something that's so creative yet so out of the box. Like there's a strong possibility, since we keep talking about Jalen Hurts, that they restructure his contract
again,
and they to keep pushing money down the line, because they have the ability to do that. If they can restructure, like they can resign Dallas Goedert and be like, hey, we're gonna give you only 5% of your money now, but 95% of it in like 15 years. Like,
you know what I'm curious? Go ahead. Sorry, Sai. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's just these NFL teams that keep getting smarter. They keep hiring people specifically for the fact of, hey, why not we just have these guys prepared to think of all these ways? And it's going to keep getting more crazy. It's going to keep getting more in depth, and we're going to keep, like, as casual fans or as like media people, we're going to be like, wow, how are they doing this? Because that's how crazy it's going to be. Whatever we're thinking, it's probably not even going to happen. That's how crazy that's how crazy these ideas are going to be, and that's what's going to happen.
I don't know.
Which makes it cool. Which makes it interesting. As a fan, I'd be excited, because that means in reality, any 32 teams could compete, because they can all do deals like this, from a bigger market team to a smart market teams.
It's true. So the only thing that I'm actually really curious about, and this is a conversation that I'm gonna have probably on the side with somebody that knows a lot more, is what's the insurance that these players are going to be given? Because NFL contracts are not guaranteed. The only guarantee that the players have are that upfront signing bonus. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Bruce, that's what they're doing, is they're backloading paying
the signing. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm just interesting to see. I'm curious to know what they're doing, what they plan on doing with like insurance purposes, and like if a player gets injured like badly, like a torn ACL or blown out knee or whatever, and something that's like completely, I don't know, like multiple, like Tua. I'm going to use Tua as an example. Like, what if like he gets another concussion? Like I don't know. I just think that it's kind of a muddy area that they're going to be going down at some point.
And that's why so many of the quarterback contracts now, it's how much of the money is guaranteed. They don't care about the big number. They care about the guaranteed number.
Of course.
And so when you're looking at somebody like Jalen Hurts, like so much of his contract was guaranteed, but the way it was guaranteed was signing bonuses where he can take it whenever, but it's back. Like, it's not that he can take it whenever. They can put it on the cap whenever. Instead of salary, there's only so much you can put on of salary at one time for a certain player, but the signing bonus is unlimited. So if they give him $100 million signing bonus, they can put it all on 1 year of the cap.
Right.
So that's where they're getting freaky with it, not just with void years, but with signing bonuses specifically, with the knowledge that this cap increase is coming.
Sounds like a signing boner.
Well, that I'm glad y'all brought that up, because that was actually my next point on how this will affect signing bonuses. Because if you look back in the day, contracts were set up to like purely be salary. We weren't seeing all these big guaranteed money lines like we are now. Like Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins getting $100 million guaranteed of his $180 million deal is crazy. That's half of his He don't even have to play, and he can sit on a couch and he gets $100 million guaranteed. And now you have the collective bargaining agreement to where, hey, the guaranteed's only going to get higher and the salary is going to get lower and lower and lower. I mean, I can play like Madden franchise and give someone a salary of this max amount of money, and they won't take it because the signing bonus isn't high enough. So you're even seeing it in like the games, people will not take these contracts if the signing bonus isn't to a certain standard they want it to be. And now it possibly will only get higher. We might see contracts almost fully guaranteed like we see in other sports.
It's gonna be like baseball.
Yep.
Exactly.
But we're seeing like what's happening with baseball now, though. So I think that, and like, dude, and I was listening to sports talk radio this week that at some point in our lifetimes we're going to see $1 billion contract.
I was just gonna say that.
We are totally going to see $1 billion contract sometime. Yeah, man. Appreciate that, Vince. But no, 100%. They're totally going to end up having a $1 billion contract. You know what's going to be? It's going to be the fucking Dodgers that end up being the ones that have that $1 billion contract. But I don't think you're gonna. I really don't think you're gonna see it in football, to be honest, just because it's going to be too much of a. There's too many factors outside of,
It could be NBA.
It could be
eventually.
That's fair.